I got, because I got to watch the demos, or the demo. I say demos because there were 2 videos. So that was a very profound experience.
Oh my God!
I had never watched you doing that. I can't believe I'm this far in, and I had never watched that. So I had 2 very powerful reactions. One is that I just don't think I had articulated that part of what you're doing is teaching that orgasm is a shared experience.
Yes.
I didn't know. That's what it was like, oh my God. It's not just one person.
Yes.
That's huge.
That's everything. And that's everything I'm teaching. That is, if you understand that, then you understand my entire worldview and how nobody is ever doing anything to anybody. Like, everything shifts. We become ecosystems. We don't become unidirectional. We become transceivers. This is what all of that is.
I'm sorry. That was so profound. I actually got a full body shiver, and I had to close my eyes so I wasn't typing. That's never happened to me before. So nobody is doing anything. Sorry, that's very, very profound. Nobody is doing anything to you. We're doing it together. Sorry. Whew. Okay. Yeah, that's the center of the universe. Like, that's it. That's the central thing.
That's it. That's the central thing. That's the realization, the core realization, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper of Om is that. Interdependence, interconnection.
Yeah, like, it's one of those amazing things that somehow I'd heard you talk around that. I must have heard you share things like that. That must have, like, those ideas must have floated past me, but I had just never seen that. I'd never, like, understood, like, she's saying orgasm is shared. Like, she's feeling someone else's orgasm. And it was really very, it was very meaningful. It stood in stark contrast with a conversation I'd had with somebody the other day, because they said that they were having sex with a woman and she knew how to get herself off. And so it was like, while they were having sex, she just disconnected. And she just, it was like she went into a separate space, and then she was so goal-directed that she just sort of did that thing, and then she was done. And he was like, oh, okay, I guess we're done now. Okay. And it was so, like, to me, that is so, I guess what you would call climax-directed sex.
Yeah, climax consciousness,
Yeah, or goal-oriented sex. You know, it is, you've lost the, what is it? You don't see the forest for the trees kind of thing. Like, it's all about this end point that is, like, lost all the pleasure. All the pleasure that is possible.
What's that expression? Like, a man gives up the world for. Oh, it's like a biblical one. I'll think of it. But it's like that's where I get crazy when people associate me with sex.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're associating me with, and it's like, no, that is a spark. There is a way that you can go into a place where we experience everything together. Like that is shit. That is disconnection. That is
right.
That is preservatives. That is the antithesis of what I'm teaching.
Right.
That loneliness that we feel as human beings.
Yeah.
Sex is the cause of that. Like, a myriad of things, but it's like the cure for that loneliness is this experience where you're sharing the most profound state together. That's the cure. We have the cure.
But see, we're going to go back to these semantic things again and again, but like, I want you to reclaim the word sex. You're rejecting it now. Sex is that thing, that broken thing. But why can't you say they have sex wrong? Sex is this, because otherwise, what is the word for it?
I think it's Eros. I think see, the challenge is, and I think 𝗢𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗂𝘁 in her book on becoming an alchemist does a brilliant description of. By the way, let me see. I'll read it to you really quick.
Yeah, please.
Eros. That's funny. It brings up rhinoceros. It's just because the root. Okay, let's see. Remember that this is her. I worked with her, which is so funny. But Anyway, remember the distinction I made chapters ago between fixed and volatile? Sex is Eros in a fixed state. The energy is fixed because it's bound to a single purpose in the physical. Dissolution is the process of melting Eros, dissolving it, making it volatile. In its volatile state, Eros is creative energy, the indispensable catalyst for every alchemical process. And that's all Om is through this profound state of, we'll say, union, you heat up in such a way that what otherwise would be this fixed, driven, goal-oriented sex energy gets dissolved and becomes usable however you want to use it. And that's why we have healing, connection, liberation, and social justice. Those are the four primary means that you use it in Eros. Mm-hmm.
So I need to read that book. I have it, and I apologize that I haven't read it yet, and I'll read it.
It's acceptable.
Thank you. But I'm so torn between, it's just when you use Eros, it's a blank in my mind. It's like it doesn't pull up anything. And I understand that you're trying to fill in that blank space. I know you're trying to create this language. I really loved the part of the demo early on. You're talking about, like, we have all these ways to describe things that are, I think you're talking about things that are bad, but we don't talk about, like, we have no way to talk about things that are good. I want to create that vocabulary. That's beautiful. I love that project. But the problem is that the word doesn't exist yet. So it's like every time you talk about that, the word doesn't pull up. It doesn't mean anything to me yet. I always thought of Eros as sort of this broad-based energy, like this creative flow energy.
I think that's actually much better in a certain way, in that I do think sex is, we did this huge, it was like 4,000 respondents of, when you think of sex, what do you think of? And almost like to a person, it was climax was number one.
Yeah. And
then it would go into like STDs, pregnancy. It was like not pretty, rape. And, I fight a lot of battles. I tried to make it the word orgasm for a long time, but even that was too big a battle for us to overcome. And so this, I'm just, I think, there's a pre-existing lineage, which is good. There's the whole Temple of Venus and Eros, and then there's 𝗩𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗶𝗲𝗿 doing some stuff, and with mating in captivity. She uses the word Eros, and there's really good quality. Yeah, quality people are using it. So I think, and then oddly, one of the most beautiful things ever written in Catholicism is about Eros, and so it's like we can do it. I think at this point I'd much rather something neutral than something I have to convert. And you need to know, I come from a radical political background, so I believe in reclamation of terms like few other people you'll talk to. But this one is bigger than me. This one won.
Well, fair enough. The other thing that struck me as I was watching it was that you are putting people back into their body.
That's it. You got both of them then, because that's the, I'm going to send you I'm going to send you a super beta site, okay?
Yeah.
But it's a good beta. This is our unconditional freedom project. So the whole vision is that, to date, what I'm doing is really, there's a reason that I'm in trouble, but it's the wrong reason. People don't realize why they're really confronted by me. And it's because I go against the idea that the world comes from God down. And I believe a lot of our problems come from that, and you have to build the world from the bottom up. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so I start with soil. I start with soil. I move to the farms, then I move to the food, then I move to the bodies, then I move to the minds, and I move outward that way. But you can't. Yeah. All these people are like, oh yeah, the way you get people to save the world is you have people experience beyond grandeur of nature. People aren't in their bodies to experience it. Every bit of harm that we see in the entire world is based on the fact that people aren't in their bodies. Either they aren't in their bodies and they're a victim as a result of going unconscious and not noticing danger was there, or overestimating their capacity to be with intensity, or they're people who aren't in their bodies and transgress without having any idea what they just did. You can't be in your body and cause genuine harm. Now, you can't be in your body and hurt people. There's a difference. But if you're actually truly, truly, truly in your body, you experience everything you do to another person. And that's what you see in that demo. It's walking evidence of how you create people who feel other people, which is the cure to human harm.
You've given me the zaps today. It's like got my tears in my eyes. Yeah, that's right. I've never thought of it that way.